TattooSoul, die Plattform für professionelle Tätowierer.
I was using coil machines for most of my career, which was at the time about 17 years. And I started using the Stigma Hypers and the Swash Drive rotaries about 7 months ago, I think it is, and been using these pretty much exclusively since. I've used lots of different coil machines. I've had machines from Aaron Kane, Paulo Fernando, Mickey Sharps, Papillon, Coastal Waters. Had some national machines. I've had machines from Juan Puente, from lots of different artists and different machine builders. It was more about collecting a good machine, using it, and then collecting another machine and using it. I mean, my collection of coil machines, I've got about 170 machines that I collected over the years from all different artists and machine builders. And just about every single one was used in a regular location for a long time before I move on to something else. For me, I picked up a rotary machine, mainly because Lau already busted my balls to go out and buy rotary machines. I guess the main difference on is just they run pretty much the same as a regular machine. There's a little less or no give compared to a coil machine, but the machine hits with such a regular cycle that it doesn't seem to do as much trauma to the skin. The other thing is it's a plug and play machine. You pick up a rotary and it runs the way it runs, with the exception of when you adjust the speed and stuff. So it took a tiny bit of getting used to, but for the most part, I think any competent tattooer can pick up a good rotary machine and just make something happen with it. But for the most part, like I said, the differences are minor. It's still worthwhile. I think with the new group of young artists that are coming into the industry and people that are jumping on the rotary thing without having properly fooled around with coil machines, I think they're kind of cheating themselves. Not to mention, I think the fact that I think any good tattooer should get to learn everything about the industry, and that would include coil machines. I think that one of the main things that you lack as an artist who just jumps into to rotary machines is when your machine takes a shit, and they will eventually, there's really no repairing. Where with a coil machine, if you have a broken spring, you have a snapped wire for a capacitor, any number of things, you can fix that yourself. You can purchase parts for it yourself. So there's a little bit more self-reliance when it comes to a coil machine versus a rotary machine. And I think that's something every artist should learn. Should learn something about it. I think the Stigma is a great machine. I think I like the way it's built. I like all the little extras with the being able to fool around with the stroke, being able to see, fool around how much it'll lay off on the skin. I like the design. It's comfortable in my hand. It's got a lot of really good things about it. I like the fact that you can just pick it. It'll work with any of your equipment, unlike some other rotaries that are out there. You don't have to purchase anything new. I really dig the fact that all the stigmas come with a clip cord and an RCA jack version attached to the same machine. I think that's a really important feature. All in all, I think it's a really good machine. It's a well-rounded machine. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I originally, when I was setting my machines up, I was setting them up with a solid hit for a liner. But on my traditional coil machines, my liners usually run like my shaders. So I usually have a long throw and a lot of give on the needle sometimes. So it's kind of nice to be able to use them both ways. And I do like the fact that with the stigma, if you're looking to change the way you're lining or a setup, then you can simply switch up by turning a screw, which is a big deal. Yeah, I like the balance. Love the weight of both machines, but I definitely like the balance on the hyper a little bit more than I like the balance on the fly. And it might just be because I've gotten that much more used to the balance on the hyper than with the fly. But for the most part, it's the weight and the balance that really kind of make it a super comfortable machine to work with. I've been using disposable grips like all the time now for about, I think it's about 3 years now. I recently did try to switch back to using stainless at home, and I didn't notice that big of a difference, and I like the feel of the disposable grips and the machine together. I don't notice a big difference, but I would imagine that anybody that's used to using stainless steel grips are going to have an easier time with the balance with the stainless steel grip and the machines. Because really, at that point of 1-inch stainless steel grip, you're going to mainly feel just the grip and not so much the machine. I've had some clients make the comment that they feel that the rotary machines hit a little softer than other machines. They feel that they have an easier time sitting. In all honesty, I think it's not so much that the machines hit any softer, because the fact of the matter is they really don't. I mean, if anything, some of these machines hit harder. I think it's a combination of the fact that the machines are hitting with just a regular pace. They're so steady and they're so well machined. I think that people and the machines are almost silent. I think it kind of gives the people the impression that there's really not that much going on. There's nothing to be kind of scared of almost. So they have an easier time sitting because of it. If you ask her right now, she'll tell you straight up that it hurts like hell. More precise than a coil machine based on the fact that everything is a machined item. It's not, like I said, you're not getting a machine, a frame that's been cast, 6 dozen times and there's little imperfections in the frame, and then you're not getting a machine that's got weird drilled holes. So from the standpoint of it being, this is more of like a tool, like a good tool, like a dental tool. Like it's a machine, it's like a machine tool. So from that perspective, it's definitely got a much more precise feel to it. The stigma compared to most other rotaries is, I'd say it's almost as nice as some and much nicer than most, because there are 1 or 2 machines that I have seen that are pretty fucking spot on too. But out of all the machines that I've used so far, I did on the hyper the most so far. It's the most versatile, and it's definitely the one that was easiest to adjust.
TattooSoul, das Portal im Web.